Hello, my storybook sisters. This is take 3 because that's what happens when I have some sick kids and I have some other kids here too. So there's just a big mishmash of children everywhere all the time. And that's okay. That's just how I roll. So we were with my slow leaking water and my husband gets home and I'm just still not having any contractions. Like I keep waiting and wanting them to come. My sister, like I said, showed up. My other sister, I kept getting really ticked because she wasn't showing up and she wasn't showing up and I wasn't sure what was happening and if she was mad at me. She ended up having influenza A or B, or she was sicker than shit. And so she was super sick and she couldn't come because her doctor said, do not bring your sick influenza self around your sister and her newborn baby. That's like the worst thing that you could ever do for her. And she didn't come, and I was kind of mad at her, but I forgave her because then I realized, yeah, thank you for not coming, meme. I love you, and I wish you were there, but she saw my birth video, and she was there in my heart. So my sister Jenny came, my midwife came, my husband was there, and this literally went on for hours and hours, and I would like here and there get contractions, but nothing like significant. They were like these Braxton Hicks kind of contractions, like that I could just breathe through. My belly would get nice and tight and hard, and I would just take my breaths through them, and I would say my pregnancy affirmations, and it was like love, strength, peace, and I would say them like that, like strength, peace. Those were my affirmations because I was strong and I was peace and I was loving my baby. So those were my affirmations. I actually said them to myself my whole pregnancy because affirmations, if you didn't know, a thing about me is I love my affirmations. So those were my pregnancy affirmations. So we did those, and literally my husband and set up the birthing pool in the kitchen. It was all set and ready to go. My midwife was there. Everything was ready except for my contractions weren't coming on and the clock was tick-tock ticking. So, but I was just kind of at peace. Like I was like, it's gonna happen. And we actually set up this beautiful birthing pool that my sister's best friend, who's now one of my close friends, Shay Davis or Davison. I love you. Either way, Shay, I love you. You're an amazing woman. She lent her birthing pool to me. We set up the birthing pool, and Jenny and I actually sat in the pool and had a glass of wine because I had wine when I was pregnant, you ask. Yes, I had wine, and my midwife said it was wonderful, and it just helped me relax and just be. And a glass of wine is fine. I wasn't chugging the bottle. I was having a wine drink, and I was just kind of like embracing, like, I'm trying to be in labor. My baby's trying to come. And so that night I go to bed. I'm in labor. My husband's cutting some logs, snoring. My midwife and her assistant, Marta, were downstairs in the toy room on the futon. Jenny falls asleep on the couch, and then I swear I just drifted off. Like, just, I couldn't fall asleep. I'm like, I'm supposed to be in labor. They're like, get some rest. It's going to be a long night. And Jenny comes up, Shelly, let's go for a walk. Let's get this moving. Come on. Rex is sleeping, and so Jenny gets me up and we go for a midnight walk. It was like midnight or 1, and it's dark and there's a lot of farts and peeing and water breaking and walking around, lots of jokes and happy times, squats, lunges. We were just doing anything we could to get my birth kick started, and it wasn't freaking happening, man. Nothing was happening. I was getting so frustrated. I was like, come on, baby, come out. I have this birth plan. This is my birth plan. Nobody's going to take my birth from me. My first birth was stolen. This is my birth. I'm doing this. I'm having this baby. And yeah, nothing happened. My midwives wake up in the morning. My husband's still sleeping. This makes me real emotional. This was beautiful. Whew, breathe through it. Okay, so midwives wake up and she was like, Shelly, is there anything you're holding on to? There's something. You need to let it go. Whatever it is, let it go. So my heart is beating really fast. Just bringing up a lot of feelings. We sit in this beautiful circle. We light a candle. We all hold hands. And Carol says, just we're kind of giving love and strength to me and my baby and to the universe. And we're putting out there like, please let Shelly's baby come. Like, let go of anything you have. And everyone went around and said something lovely and amazing about me and how strong and I had a breakdown and I said, I fear I will have to go to the hospital and have a C-section. I fear that. I don't want that. That's not what's going to happen. I am stronger than that. I will have this baby. This is my baby. And I never came to terms with having to have that C-section. I just feared that. It was just inside of me. And we wrote those on papers and then we burnt them. And I burnt that away and I let it go. And we just let it go and we sat there and we said my affirmations. We said strength, peace, love. And I was all of those things and my baby was all of those things. So we kind of finish up. The sun is rising up in the sky. The sun is rising and still nothing. So we try all of these tinctures and mixtures and this and that. My midwife had to run out to the store. She had to go get more tinctures. I took these disgusting castor oil and blah, blah, orange juice, fucking disgusting, excuse my language, choke them down. I was like having contractions and cramps from the disgusting tinctures and nothing was happening. Like I kept making breathing noises and my midwife came up to me and she said, Shelly, are you contracting? I'm like, I'm so sick in my tummy. I was sweating. I was like a shell of myself. I was like, this is not happening. Nothing is working. My baby's not coming. It's horrible. My husband's up. We go for a walk and then we come back in and it's just kind of a weird energy and there's just this weird energy going on in the room. I just could feel it. I was like, fuck, they're gonna say something. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So Carol takes us over. She sits against the bookshelf. I'm bouncing on my birthing ball. I'm holding Milo, my baby. I have like this big fat braid draped over my side and my emerald green dress. My husband's sitting beside me, kind of shaking with his head rested on his hands. And Carol proceeds to tell me, Shelly, it's time. It's 22 hours. Your time is up. We need to take you to the hospital. It's getting too close. It's just not safe for you and it's not safe for baby. And I just lost it. I was like, no, this is not fair. This is my birth. This is not fair. No. I was like, no, I did not. Like, no, this is not fair. Why? Why me? There's all these women out there who don't care. They don't care. They'll go to the hospital and have a C-section epidural, but not me. I already did that. That's not my choice. This is my body, my choice. And I just broke down and I bawled and I bawled. You see me crying now. I was freaking hysterical. I couldn't stop. I bawled my eyes out and I don't know why, but I think my sister, my husband, he said, Shelly, why don't you go sit in the pool? Go sit in the pool and just relax before we have to go. Go sit in there. It's okay. It's okay. And I was like, oh, okay. So I get in the pool and I sit in there. Like 5 minutes rolls by. Carol says, Shelly, we need to go, honey. You need to go get dressed. She helps me up out of the water, wraps me in a towel. I start walking up the stairs and I look back down the stairs and I see the car seat. I see the hospital bag and I just say, okay, this is what we're doing. Maybe it's going to be easier. I can just get the C-section. I don't have to give birth. I won't have to be in pain. It's going to be okay. And I kind of just like accepted it. It was weird. I walk up the stairs. I get to my room and I'm wearing my sports bra. And I somehow got my pants on. All of a sudden, bam, hugest, craziest contraction ever. Just, ooh, I couldn't stop it. It just came, wham, poof. And I stood there. I stuck up. I'm like, oh, okay, I need to get dressed. And it was maybe like, I'm not kidding you, like 3 minutes later, ooh, like deep, whoa, like what is happening? And I kept thinking, I don't want to ride in the car with these contractions. God, this freaking hurts so bad. And oh, I forgot to even add that my beautiful Shay came. She showed up in the morning that morning and she was there for all of this. Shay, I don't forget about you. Shay was there. Shay comes upstairs and she's this beautiful presence of blonde, amazing angel serenity. And she comes up in her southern accent, Shelly, is everything all right, Shelly? And I'm, oh, it's gonna hurt so bad to ride in the car. Ooh. And I somehow waddle and make it to the bathroom and I'm leaning back and forth, and I can see myself swaying. And then I hear her kind of scurry off. And I'm just like, I can't get dressed. This freaking hurts. And then Carol comes back, and Carol also has a southern accent. She's like, what's going on up here? How are you? And oh, I'm not kidding you. I went into labor. I was laboring my baby. I lay on my bed. I crouch over. My beautiful friend Shay was there, and who was it? Did she have Arden with her or Bo? One of her little babies. She has 4 babies. She straps her baby on her back, and she's rubbing me. I don't know where my sister is. I don't know where my husband is. I don't care. I'm freaking, I labored on my bed, and I labored on my bed. And Carol checks me, and she checks me, and which she never checks because she doesn't usually check, but she checks, and I am progressing. I'm bam-balamming. I'm having a freaking baby. And finally I get to a point where she says, if you would like, you can go into the pool, Shelly. And I, in between a contraction, bolt downstairs, and I get in the pool, and I start laboring. Somewhere along the line, Rex appears. Jenny gets in the pool with me. She's having labor pains with me. I'm still, I don't know, I changed. I was like, I'm having this baby. And I didn't even think about the hospital. I was like, I'm in fucking labor. I'm having this baby right now. So I'm in labor in the pool. All of a sudden, in between one of those like really wicked strength, peace contractions, Carol bends down. I'm like arched over on my knees in the pool, and Carol bends over and she whispers in my ear and she says, Shelly, we're gonna set up for a home birth. You're gonna have your baby at home. And I started crying, and everyone started crying, and we were like, I could have my baby at home, and I gotta have my baby at home. And I labored, and I grunted and grunted, and I got my birth. I had my beautiful baby at home. I did it. I got to do it. Like, my body knew what it was doing. I had some weird fear in my head, and I had to let it go. And once I finally released my fear, my body like took over and was like, you can have this baby. This is your baby to have. So I did have my beautiful birth at home, and there were some complications. I did hemorrhage significantly because I am naturally a ginger, and us gingers do hemorrhage. My amazing midwife took care of it. Bam, she gave me a shot. I had a tincture. She stopped my uterus. Actually, she told me I had to tell my uterus, clamp down and shut off, stop bleeding. And my uterus stopped bleeding, and I had my baby at home, and I was having my beautiful, peaceful birth with my baby at home. And I did it, and I overcame all of those odds. I wasn't a statistic. I was me, and it was my birth.